between now and then, we're working on the Stop Fentanyl Act, which is legislation that came out of the Senate Judiciary Committee. It's something that deals with the fentanyl crisis that we have in this country. And Senator Bill Cassidy, the chairman of the Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee, has had a lot to do with that issue and with that legislation. And I'm going to ask him to come up and speak to it, and then we'll try and answer any questions you all have. Senator Cassidy.
Thank you. 74,000 fellow Americans died of fentanyl or fentanyl analog overdose last year. Everyone watching, everyone here knows of somebody who has died of a fentanyl overdose. And if you watch the Super Bowl, it would have been more than the crowd within the Superdome who have died this past year, but also every year from a fentanyl overdose. What this bill does, it makes permanent that a fentanyl analog exposes you to the same criminal penalties as if you're selling fentanyl. What's a fentanyl analog? Yeah, I'm a doctor, so I'm going to speak a little bit like a doctor. If you have the chemical structure of fentanyl, which is illegal to have, and you change it just a little bit, and with that change, technically it may no longer be considered fentanyl. But if you take it, you still die. It still has the same terrible effects upon our society as that which is technically fentanyl. What this bill does, the HALT Fentanyl Act, one of the things it does is it says either fentanyl or a fentanyl analog is illegal to possess. It also, so it strengthens the penalty. We've had this on the books temporarily. Now we make it permanent. One more tool for law enforcement to use to fight the scourge of fentanyl. It also allows for research. For those, fentanyl actually has a medical use. And so if there's some analog which is medically superior, it also allows that research, keeps that door open in case there's something positive for society for one of these analogs. This makes it permanent. It gives law enforcement one more tool. President Trump has said he will sign it. I'm glad that he will. Let's give as many tools as we can to law enforcement to take that 74,000 down to zero. So.
Questions for Senator Kennedy? Or Senator Cassidy, sorry. It's kind of like from Louisiana, my bad.
Well, what am I going to say now?
You have to have some good.
That dog don't hunt. Anyone?
Question?
Right here. Are the votes there?
Yeah, the votes will be there. We had Foreign Committee. We had 7 co-sponsors from the Democratic side. I've worked closely with Senator Heinrich. This is bipartisan because, frankly, fentanyl is a bipartisan problem. And so if someone doesn't vote for this, you're thinking, wait a second, you're going to turn a blind eye for the fact that 74,000 people died last year and a similar number the year before and a similar number the year before. So I think the votes will be there. And it's passed the House. And so once it passes here, the President can sign it into law. Anyone else? Thank you.